much of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go astray.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you and welcome to our show, Islamic Law Today. I would like to thank Professor Muhammad Saie for being with us. Professor Muhammad Saie is a professor in several Islamic universities in America, and he is a permanent member in the Fatwa Committee in North America. As usual, you can communicate with us in the second and the third segment through our phone numbers 0202 3855 248 or 249, or you can write to us through our emails islamiclawtoday@huda.tv. Professor Muhammad, in the last episode we were talking about the killing of Bin Laden. We were talking about that Islam does not permit mass killing and does not permit killing innocent people. But even though that we know this, still the anti-Islam or the West, usually when they talk about terrorism, for somehow they link Islam to this terminology, terrorism. First of all, what is terrorism from the Islamic point of view?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم إني أحمدك حمدا يوافي نعمك ويدفع نقمك ويكافئ مزيدك. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا وقلبا خاشعا ودعاء متقبلا وعملا خالصا لوجهك الكريم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وأسألك في هذه الساعة أن تنصر الإسلام والمسلمين، وأن تعلي راية الحق والدين، وأن ترفع الظلم عن المظلومين، وأن تبرئ لأمة الإسلام أمر رشد يعز به أهل طاعتك ويذل به أهل معصيتك. اللهم أسعدنا وأسعد المسلمين في أنحاء الأرض كلها بيوم أبيض يا رب العالمين، تخفق فيه رايات الحرية والعزة والعدل والكرامة في ربوع الإسلام وفي أراضي وبلاد المسلمين.
آمين.
It is shocking sometimes when you are thinking about the reactions, the result, and the conclusions of the condition of a nation, from being a leader, from being in the front line of presenting pure and true civilization, and into being a very backward nation, just trying to import everything from others. Looks very poor, very limited in its thought, its ideology, almost losing its identity. So if you put together all of this and you talk specifically about a victorious nation and defeated nation, as the scholars who they are in the field of social studies, they always talk about the result and the impact of being a defeated nation, and the result and the impact of being a very advanced and victorious nation. As we said maybe one time, if you are sitting in a plane going from Dallas to maybe Los Angeles, California, and you are sitting and riding a plane made in USA, how much good feelings these people belong to this state, being United States citizen, riding what been made in your state. And that goes to every aspect of life. When you see all this advanced technology, it's like the fruit or the result or the impact of what you have made, you and others, to make this very advanced state or advanced nation from a materialistic point of view. If you go to some other nation, they call them sometimes the third world, just to be nice with them. They are a defeated, actually, nations, backward countries, and we have a special and very advanced definition to advanced and backward. It is not to put yourself or to put this nation itself in the list of advanced nation to have nuclear weapon. We have seen in many countries they have nuclear weapon, but they are very backward nation. When you see poverty, percentage of poverty, percentage of prostitution, when you see human trafficking somewhere, when you see corruptions in the government facilities, government administrations, you cannot call this nation as advanced nation. What does differentiate between, maybe because we lived in the United States of America and I carry the American citizenship, what does make this nation as very advanced and very superior from materialistic point of view, it is not because it is United States of America. It is because when you live there, you feel the value of yourself as a human being. You feel that your right is being reserved as a human being. And this is the most valuable things in life. And this kind of very advanced technology made by the people of the state, or you go to some other maybe nation, that will give the feeling of being proud, belong to such a country or state like this. This was happening a long time ago with Muslims, with their nation. With this nation was very advanced. When they were Muslims under that state and under that authorities, taking from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, their understandings, their thought, their belief, their manual book in their life, how to manage their issues, how to manage themselves, and how to be able later on to carry on this mission and to deliver it to others. They were very successful people indeed. They were able within 25 years to open from far east to the far west, spread light of knowledge. They spread the light of dignity. They spread the light of the human values and principles. They handed the keys of civilizations to others. They translated books. They transferred books to others. They were exchanging benefit. They were building bridges between every kind of cultures and other maybe civilizations, regardless of the faith or the religion, till become a phenomenon at that time. What happened later on when Muslims, they disregarded their maybe reasons and keys of success and happiness and leadership in this life, Allah by His wisdom subhanahu wa ta'ala, to give a very strong message to the Muslim nation that you cannot succeed in your life unless you come back to the reasons of your dignity, your freedom, your leadership, your superiority. You will be in this time, until you come back to this reason and keys, backward nation will be begging others for some kind of little, maybe technology or little civilizations. So it is not abnormal to see the West has come forward and define terrorism for the East. West come forward to define terrorism to the East, and East has taken this definition with its practice, executions, and they start to go in the same route, the same direction. Muslims, because they are not in the stage of feelings or believing in themselves, they are not able to go back and tell everyone we are a very advanced nation, even in the field of defining terrorism. And if we can, in this episode, maybe elaborate on this very important issue, because I could claim that if Islam, very famous term or terminology, terrorism is the most famous word, maybe second. Yes. And what does hurt as a Muslim thinker, philosopher, or scholars, or anything like this, is most likely when you mention terrorism, it comes to your mind, Islam. In the media, in the mind of the people everywhere, always terrorism means you have to talk about Islam. So let us talk in this episode, inshallah, about the very advanced thought in Islam, and especially from Islamic law point of view, about the issue of terrorism.
Yes, even though that terrorism is not only made by Muslims, like we see terrorism from the West as well, what happened in Oklahoma, what happened in Japan sometimes, what happened from the KKK in America. But even though that some non-Muslims are doing this, and even some, I don't want to say mention other religions, but some of them even bombarded some clinics for abortion clinics in USA, but still they don't call them terrorists, or they call it, even they don't call it as a terrorism action. But why, as you mentioned, they linked it because we are weaker, and they made it like somebody made a design that this word only applied on Muslims, so we took it as it is. We don't apply it on others as well. But from the Islamic point of view, when it comes to terrorism, did Islam speak about terrorism? Did Islam say anything about terrorism, with it, against it? Is there anything in history speaks about terrorism in Islam?
Exactly, that's what we meant by going back to our very advanced Islamic thought in this regard. Would be maybe a very shocking, maybe, introduction to this topic if we say terrorism is a word, it's a term. It does come from terror. From linguistic point of view, not just in Arabic language, even from English language, French, or maybe Dutch, or Spanish, or any other language, you could find that the original word being used in different field, and sometimes it is very welcome term, and sometimes very rejectable term. Islam was very advanced in making these two divisions, or these two sections. We can say that to use that word terror, and then you say terrifying, or terrorism does have one section which is does carry a good meaning, good use for that term, and the second section we could find this term as very bad term because the use of it or maybe the practice of it. So if you look at the first section, we have heard Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about a very special servant of Him, which is the highest of them prophet messengers. When Allah mentioned them subhanahu wa ta'ala and mentioned some of their criteria, where these criteria have made them very special because of this work. وَكَانُوا يَدْعُونَنَا رَغَبًا وَرَهَبًا يَسَارُونَ فِي الْخَيْرَاتِ. They were very rush, very fast, steady speeding in their work to make good deeds in their life. They were asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make supplications to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala from the feelings of hoping and asking and being eager to see His reward in hereafter, His mercy here in this life, His blessing in this life, and from the feelings of fearing His punishment subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the word of raghaban wa rahaban, they were wishing something, they were afraid of
Terrifying. This is
being terrified by something else, to be enjoyed by His reward subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be terrified by His punishment subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Subhanallah.
So this is the
Subhanallah. We will go for a quick break and we'll come back. We'll continue again. We will go for a quick break. Please stay with us. We have more to say.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
You have questions that bother you. What about issues of concern to you? Would you like to share things on your mind with us? Are you interested in solutions based on an Islamic perspective? Please join me live in Meet Your Advisor every Friday at 9 p.m. Mecca time, here on Huda TV.
Proactive.
How to be proactive in Islam, how to serve our religion, how to serve our life.
No, we want them to be proactive in matters that are related to their ummah, the true leader. And this is maybe we need to have this, okay, among us as Muslims. The true leader is the one who creates leaders.
So the society at the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave the chance for the children to blossom.
Now who took the reward of this? The initiative of Ali bin Abi Talib. Ali bin Abi Talib took the reward because of his initiative.
How long have you been passive? How much time have you lost in your life because of negativity? Learn how to take conscious control over your life. Set your goals and work to achieve them in an Islamic way.
If you really love your wife, your children, your parents, your people, then you have to do your utmost. You have to do whatever you can in order to invite them to Islam. We are in need for these reminders. The main point is ikhlas, is sincerity, is what I want to get in the hereafter.
Join Sheikh Haytham Al-Haddad and his host, Muhammad Abdurrahim, in this inspiring show.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Welcome back. Professor Muhammad, before we went to the break, you were talking about that even the prophets, even the prophets, the prophets in general, they were talking about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about them, that they were calling for Him, seeking with love and desire and hope, and at the same time praying to Him with fear and being terrified. And this is one of the let's say, one of the recommended type of being terrified, that this will lead you to the right path or the right track.
Yes. So this is like one maybe element in this section that show that terrifying or terror is not an ugly term. Could be used in a very good manner and very good practice. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is attracting you, encouraging you for a good deed by promising you that big reward and a special place in paradise, and terrifying you from being the person in the hellfire by putting in your mind that every person will be handling the issue of his address or his order was careless and would be in the field of disobedience to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would be punished. So Allah is terrifying us to not be from the people of hellfire. Allah encouraging us and subhanahu wa ta'ala attracting us by many things that attract our soul as human beings, our desire to be among the people of the paradise. Wife, fruit, good drink, permanent residency of the paradise, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah, ameen.
So this is like the mix between encouraging you and discouraging you. That comes to the recipe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let's go to the depth of the human soul, the human nature. You cannot even in your life as doctor, engineer, father, or maybe wife, or any person who's in charge of someone else, to make your business or your work a successful one, unless you mix between these two elements. You are encouraging your employees and you are terrifying them or warning them. If you be a good employer, you will have this bonus. If you show some kind of shortage of your work, you will be having minus so and so.
Yes.
So this is like something to match your human soul. Allah has used this because He is the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is not rejectable to try to encourage someone and to try to take someone away from the wrong path by saying to him, be aware. If you keep yourself in that street, keep yourself in that wrong path, you will be ended up by being in the hellfire. I'm terrifying you because I love you. I'm encouraging you because I love you. Because Allah loved us subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah mentioned this in His holy book subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And this is not only mentioned in the Quran. I believe that this is not only the case in Islam about terrifying people who don't follow the right path. This, I believe it exists in all religions. So it's not unique that people sometimes they put the label, see, Islam is talking about terrifying its people, or the followers of Islam are terrified. This is existed in Christianity, in Judaism, and they have hellfire as well. So it's not only for Islam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala terrifying people from being disobedient to Him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another thing, what are the other type of this, what they call it, accepted kind of terrifying or terrorizing?
Yes. So this is like one example of having an acceptable, terrifying for good reasons, used by the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People can use it for the same purpose, because the goal and the aim of it is very legitimate.
Yes.
And very acceptable from even a human being thought, not just Islamic point of view or Islamic law point of view. The second maybe example, and this is again and again, is a common belief and thought among all nations, all states, all countries, all people from different religion and faith. Each country and state does have the right to defend itself, right?
Yes.
They said, this is our country, this is our state. We have the right to defend our borders, our state, our interest. In order to achieve that, we cannot just say we are the defenders of this state. We have to use some means, some method. One of these methods being used everywhere, your military, your army, your weapon. Sometimes you make what they call it military administrations. In the Navy, maybe field, in the ground field, in the air field, the U.S. Force, Air Force, or
exhibition
military.
or demonstration for
Right.
your power.
Just you are showing others, if you think that you are able to think, that you'll be able to to pass these borders or mess with our interests or our borders, we are ready for you. You are terrifying your enemy. You are terrifying the thinking of someone being oppressors or aggressors or being crazy to maybe drag the whole world to a war, thus bring destructions to the whole humanity. And if you just thought about World War I and II and other maybe wars took place in this world, because of these people and others, they have nothing but to go that route, try to defend their country and their state, and from time to time to show that they are very powerful, very ready to maybe defend their state and their country, even by using the word of terrifying the enemy. Allah has used this term in Al-Quran Al-Kareem. This is very advanced terminology. وَأَعِدُّ لَهُمْ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ مِنْ قُوَّةٍ وَمِنْ رِبَاطِ الْخَيْلِ تُرْهِبُونَ بِهِ عَدُوَّ اللَّهِ وَعَدُوَّكُمْ. That Allah has commanded Muslims. And this commandment is not abnormal. This commandment comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Muslims. And I'm definite that this commandment will come from any president, any king, any prince, to its people, to its army, that you should prepare yourself. You should be prepared. Prepare yourself and make every possible mean to be a strong, powerful, and superior country and state to terrify enemies from thinking to bring destructions to your country. And this has been used from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we talk sometimes about the issue of nuclear weapons, as we're talking from Islamic law point of view, originally Islam is against mass destructions, weapon, right?
Yes.
When you are throwing a bomb to kill thousands or hundreds of thousands of people or millions, God forbid, without targeting a specific enemy or specific someone who caused damage to you, this they call it mass killings.
Yes.
And this is the job and the result, the impact of nuclear weapons, traditional weapons, and all these mass destruction weapons. Islam is against this. But in the case that some other nation are in the field of having these nuclear weapons, is it forbidden from Islamic law point of view to have like what they have, to terrify them from thinking to bring destruction to you? And this is the philosophy of the United States of America, philosophy of France and Britain. They said, frankly, we are having this not to use it, not to bring destructions, but just to terrify others. At maybe all time when they have this Cold War between the communist parties and imperialism parties, just to send a strong message to Soviet Union at that time and its followers that we are ready for you. Don't ever think that you are able to mess with our maybe principles or values or interests. We have nuclear weapons.
From what you said in the two types of terrifying, the first one from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that to be terrified, to do not disobedient Him, and the other one that the country has to be so powerful and show off its powers to terrifying others. It seems like terrorism here, if we call this terrorism to prevent problems, to prevent being in trouble, to prevent to do something wrong, which is something I believe it's a very positive way. It's not kind of terrorism that will hurt someone.
Well, just to be very accurate, they don't use in the West the word of terrorism if it comes to the field of terrifying enemies. So it's like the differences on the using the word, the term. We have no problem with this. But I'm just talking about the original linguistic material of this terrorism word. Has come from where? So if the issue is like using tourism, we said that take this word away and let us see if we are able to apply the meaning of it in a good manner, in a good use, in a good practice. And we have found this. And this has been agreed among all the people from everywhere. You are allowed, you are permitted, it's permissible, it's a very good job to terrify someone from being from the hellfire or from someone to being in the wrong path. You are doing very good job to terrify your enemy from not thinking to miss with your interest. So if the issue is term or word, this is should not be a problem. We have said about the nuclear weapons from history. It's not just claim. It is fact. The Prophet ﷺ, as we said in different maybe episode, he was commanded his followers to show mercy. And mercy does not maybe bring the exact meaning he wanted sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Ihsan, when you are doing good to someone or something, you are commanded to show the best out of you, even to trees or river or water or air. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. That means you are commanded to show the best out of you to everything does relate to this universe, because it does relate to you, because this universe is being created for you, and this planet specifically being created to serve you. So you have to show some kind of appreciation. That's what we say sometimes, even if you are riding. Imagine there's just this issue. How Islam was so advanced in his thought and his terminology of dealing with things relate to you. Even this thing is not like a live things. Appears to you. It is live. Actually, when you are riding a camel, it's a live things, right?
Yes.
Live creatures. But what if you are riding a car? It's unanimously among Muslim scholars. The same supplications, the same remembrance of Allah you are using when you are riding horse or donkey or camel, you should use it when you are riding your car. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, Subhana alladhi sakharna hadha wa ma kunna lahu muqrinin wa inna rabbina munqalibun. Supplications to mention the name of Allah, appreciate His bounty subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even if you are going over because you are showing some kind of superiority when you are riding the camel and some other people are under you, you should remember being humble. That will say Allahu Akbar.
Allah.
To not show arrogance when you are riding camel or horse. And when you are riding Rolls Royce in our modern time, say Allahu Akbar. Even I am a rich person, famous person, I'm riding Rolls Royce or Bentley, but Allah is greater subhanahu wa ta'ala. That will bring your soul down, so you are able to be humble. And then you said subhanallah sakharna hadha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's giving you this ability to use these transportations, whether it was donkey or maybe camel or horse. So you are referring to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanking Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and showing the best out of you. Not just this, subhanallah. We are using these transportations in a very good and beautiful way. You are prohibited being the abusers for these transportations.
Yes.
And we have seen in different maybe movies when someone get angry. We have little time, maybe next.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry for interruption.
No problem.
We will go for a quick break and we'll come back again. Inshallah, we have a lot of things to say.
Inshallah.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
In your standpoint of view, are there specific or certain criteria to choose your spouse or your partner, to marry or not to marry? Maybe that's the question. Do we revise the quality of performance of our treatment between the family members as fathers or mothers? As they say usually, it's not what you say, it's how would you say it. Wouldn't you like to be a good storyteller for your kids? Neurobiologically speaking, child abuse and emotional trauma causes scars in the brain of the child, and this might be not easily healing. What's the exact job description of a father? Is it clothing, payments, and feeding, or other important things? Well, I think the job description of a father is merely giving him love and care, self-confidence, giving him sense of security, and checking for the points of strength to stress on them. What about potty training and its planning? Oh yeah, actually, it's a state, it's a condition. Fatherhood is not a body or a person, it's a state. Are you a good or skillful designer for the policy and the long-term plans of the life of your kids? Join us every Wednesday for family issues.
Dear viewers, Hoda programs can be watched in the English section of the in-flight entertainment directory on board all Saudi airline flights, domestic and international. Sit back, relax and enjoy watching Hoda's entertaining and enlightening shows on your trip. Hoda wishes you a safe and successful journey. Hoda, a light in every home.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Welcome back. Professor Muhammad, before we went to the break, you were talking about the kind of terrorizing that the countries, some countries used to terrifying others to attack them by using or having the nuclear bomb or the nuclear or the weapon of mass destruction. And you said that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us that we have to be so nice and so kind and so mercy, even with things that there is no life or soul in it, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to treat everything around us with dignity and with mercy and with the best manners.
Yes, yes. And if you just able to think deeper in these meanings, if we are as Muslims and hope as human beings able to deal with things around us that does have a life in our belief or does not have a life or living things they call it, or other things, we are commanded to treat all of this in a good manner and to bring the best out of us when we are dealing with these materials or these things. How should we be in the manner or in the field of dealing with human beings, with others, even at war? So if you are commanded to be nice and good and show mercy, generosity toward your camel, your donkey, this is your rider, transportations. And as we said, to not be the abuser of it. And we've seen in different maybe scene how someone, if he get angry, how he hit the tire of his car, the body of his car. We've been prohibited from doing this because we feel that they have feelings. And this is like shocking, right?
Oh yeah.
I believe that when you ride your car, if you deal with your car with this belief, your car does feel your kindness, your goodness and will react to this good treatment in the best way. That's why when a lady was with the Prophet ﷺ one day, and she has a camel, and she cursed. She has a she-camel, and that she-camel was giving some hard time to this lady, and she cursed that she-camel. The Prophet said, nobody should ride that she-camel. She is a cursed one. And the narrator said, I could see that she-camel going in the road of Medina, no one is just try to expose himself to it, or touch it, or ride it. Means she feels. Another very authentic story, when a man, he was in the field of having camels and she-camels and other maybe camels in his farm, and the Prophet one time he paid a visit to that person, and he found one camel in a very bad condition, as if that he's complaining. And he said, the Prophet, this camel is complaining about you,
SubhanAllah,
that you are giving him a hard time. That's what he said.
yes,
That means camel is feeling, has a feelings, and he could react to him. The same thing the Prophet was one time with his companion said, I know a stone in Makkah al-Mukarramah, he used to salute me wherever I pass by him.
a stone.
The stone. إني أعرف حجرا في مكة كان يسلم علي. The stone is salute the Prophet. And one time he was carrying or holding in his two hands, alayhi salam, little stones. And they start to make tasbih. Subhanallah, 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 subhanallah. The stones are making tasbih. And Allah said, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ لَا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ. Then he handed the stones to the Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and they keep making tasbih. That means even non-living things, they have a feelings. So if you are dealing with your car in this belief, in this treatment, and you said, my car, my apology to you if I did give you a hard time sometimes, forgive me. I believe that your car will react to you in the best way ever you can dream.
Yeah, it makes sense, because when somebody take care of his car, for example, make oil change on time, clean the car from inside and outside, the lifetime of the car is longer than the other car that somebody drive it in a very abusing way.
Yes.
It makes a lot of sense. Now, when we talk about, you made the divided between the bad type of terrorism, and you said there is a good type of terrorism. We mentioned already the good type of terrorism.
We mentioned two only. We
two,
have
yes.
one. Can we mention other one?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. It's because it's very... And if you notice that these two examples or two issues being accepted by everyone.
Of course.
No one can deny this, right?
And even it exists in all religions, so it's not...
The third one has the same category, the same maybe title, the same status. When you are terrifying criminals from committing crimes, what do? You try to make a law or issue a bill to show your kindness, your softness, if I can say your naiveness with these people, and saying don't be afraid of committing crime. I'll be very soft with you. I'll be very nice with you. Go for it. Go ahead. Commit any crime. We have a big room to forgive you and to show our base of our maybe morals. You don't do that. What do? You issue law and you issue punishment.
Harsh law.
Right? Very harsh one to terrify these criminals from committing crimes.
Yes.
And this is the Islamic philosophy of having very tough punishment to such crimes like raping or maybe stealing or killings.
Yes.
You cannot put a criminal behind the bar for 20 years or maybe 10 years while you are still investigating if he is a criminal or not. And when you are giving these criminals all the facilities he was even not dreaming to have it in his normal life. And as a fact, some criminals, they did commit crimes intentionally, willingly, escaping from their hard time in the normal life to have very easy life within or behind the bars.
Yes.
They have basketball court, they have a swimming pool, they have library, they have TVs, they could practice all the sport that they have. They are living, and with cost living free. There's no gas bill or electric bill. They are better than many people. They are suffering because they don't have enough money to cover their daily expenses life. So Islam does not go with this route. Islam said we have to be very terrifying in our punishment, because our purpose is to stop, to prevent the crime from being started. And if we have already crimes being committed, we have to have a suitable punishment to stop that person from going further in his criminal thought.
And not only this, I believe that Islam is the only religion, or the Islamic law is the only law that make the punishment in public. When it comes to the, for example, cutting off the hand of the thief, it does it in the public to terrify others, so they can see it and they will stay away from it.
Now, this is one of the additional method of Islamic law, how to terrify others if they think to commit crimes.
Yes.
And Islamic law very, very advanced, because it's not, as we say, the human or man-made law. It is the God-made law.
Yes.
So Allah knows subhanahu wa ta'ala what's inside you, what's inside me, what does fit in our nature, what does fit in our interest in this life, what does serve our mission in this life and our mission hereafter. That's why Islamic law is very advanced, because Allah made subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when it comes to the issue of criminals, statistic studies shows that Muslim countries still less in its crimes than other countries.
Yes.
Even we said that we are still, or maybe Muslim countries are still not advanced, very advanced. They are still under the category of the third world, but the crimes are less because was being left over from the Islamic law, from the Islamic teachings and commandments. And we have seen this in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, this is what I was
going to
say. Yes.
We have to say the truth. I have seen this in my eyes. The stores where they have jewelries, they have currencies. What they do, that was a long time ago, not right now, because it's been changed right now. Many people has come, mixed, and the whole atmosphere has been changed. But a long time ago, I have seen that in my eyes. Like 1970s, I have seen this. The stores where they have jewelry stores, currency stores, when they call for adhan, for the prayer, all what they do, they have like a little piece of sheet, garment, and they cover. They don't close it. They don't shut it down. They just cover by this. They leave and they go pray and come back. No one is just not able to think just to come close.
No one dare. No one dare to come close.
Yes. And this being practiced and this being documented, and this is just a little result of practicing of little of the Islamic law. What if Saudi Arabia or some other countries, they have applied completely and perfectly the Islamic law? You'll see different and amazing result and impact.
Subhanallah. We have very short time. If you can just give us briefly, what are the type of the unacceptable terrorism? We have only like 1 minute maybe.
Just very briefly, we have the second section, which is very ugly section, very rejectable, very unacceptable from Islamic law point of view, from Islamic thought, which is, you could categorize it into 4 sections, very main sections. We are witnessing these sections in our modern life. When you have the political terror,
okay,
when you have a social terror. If you'd like to use the political terrorism,
We can talk about it the next
no problem.
week, inshallah.
Social terrorism instead of terror. You have religious terror or terrorism. You have thought or think or understanding terror or terrorism.
We will need to start with the religious terrorism because I'm sure that some people will think that there is terrorism in the religion that we need to
maybe in next episode we'll see how Islam was so advanced in introducing all these sections and introducing its very special recipe, very special treatment, very special cure for all these sections.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah Rabbil Alameen. I would like to thank Professor Muhammad Naeem Saie for being with us and to share his information and knowledge with us. You can, dear viewers, you can communicate with us through our email, islamiclawtoday@huda.tv. You can send us your questions and inshallah we will answer to you next week, bi'idhnillah. Inshallah we will see you next week and thank you very much for watching us. Till next week. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go astray. As the best of His creation, only us did He deem. This for us is honor, this high esteem. His qudrat it is that cause winds to blow. He gives us provision so that we may grow.